Shalom, 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 shalom. Whew! Before I get the session started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahawashi, by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I love, I do love, whom I learned from. Salakia. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned from and who I do love. I do love the men of GMS, man. That ain't no joke, man. My life has completely been turned upside down and right side up in the right ways because of the doctrine that these men teach, and now they're the only group, they're the only camp, and anyone who follows their doctrine that I can actually listen to. Now, I will listen to other people teaching and saying things when I'm gathering information to do a lesson, but that lesson and that information is going to be collected to what? To then be placed in line with the understanding and the wisdom and the knowledge of the doctrine of what I have learned and what I am learning with the men of GMS. With that said, look what some of these countries have just done with these Epstein files, man. You can read it. This is Trump can control the U.S. DOJ, but other countries like France have the unredacted version, and they're showing you right there him with the fucking little girl. And you got to remember these little kids. So you got to ask yourself, why would a girl that age? She looks like she's 5, maybe 6. Why is she smiling? Now listen to what I'm trying to communicate. She's innocent as far as that age is concerned, but remember, what does the precept say? The wicked, as soon as they are born, speak lies. There's a mystery. There's a peek into something that we see going on here, bro. These children are born to wicked parents. That means they are also a wicked seed line. There's something active in their DNA, and there's also something happening with these parents that are birthing these children, right? There's some type of system at an early age that's got these kids acting comfortable like this around all these other wicked adults. Again, I'm not blaming the children, but this is unusual. That's not his niece. That's the body language or the facial expression of someone that would be like a niece, someone that's familiar with you on a consistent basis. These kids are fucking strangers and they're acting like this, but they're not strangers to the network, to what's mentioned in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verses 3 through 6. The feast of blood, the priest, the idolatrous crew, and the parents who killed children destitute of help. Right there, it mentions there's 3 aspects of the adult system in these. Look at this, man.
For those of you who want to access the Epstein files unredacted, here's 2 options for you. 1, go to the DOJ website at justice.gov and it's /Epstein, like this. Here's the official web.
I have the unredacted files. Those files. Yep, I do. Somebody on Reddit, God bless them, they unredacted 943 pages. So if you go to my link tree, you click here, you can read all 943 pages. Anything in the light gray box, unredacted. And while we're talking about redactions, I found this picture. This is Epstein. This is Walter Cronkite. Who is this guy in the middle? The only reason that my attention was brought to this picture is because I found it later in the files, and that middle guy is blacked out. So I went on Google and I looked around, and it just says he's unidentified. Why would they black him out? Who is he? Does anybody know? I mean, maybe there's a...
The unredacted files are in every foreign country where Epstein did business.
This is going to completely change. Even more so, even more hyperbolic, the global perception of the so-called white man, you guys. This goes into, man, it is amazing to, I'm tripping out. Can I share something, you guys? What year was this? Hold on, I gotta, you gotta believe me, I'm not lying. I was in Arizona. Salakia, let me get the precept. Sorry about that. Isaiah 19. Where was I? Because now this is because it's starting to happen more, and I'm beginning to get more understanding. I was a Christian, an on fire, Jesus Christ, Renaissance Western, Holy Ghost, tongue talking, fucking vocal, every aspect of community type Christian when I was a Christian. I want to remember, okay, 1999, 1998. I think it was in 1998. I was at one of my friends, John Porter. He was one of the last Christian Edomite friends in my life to finally, well, we just finally stopped talking, man. I was extremely close with this guy. And then, of course, over time, when I changed and woke up and my doctrine changed, and I then understood that I was Salakia, that I was a Hebrew Israelite, all my Edomite friends that I had acquired throughout my life in Arizona, just one by one, they began to fall off because I was thinking and talking different. The guy they had grown up with their whole life, he looked the same, he just wasn't the same. So look, Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. I did a lesson just within the last 6 months going into the idols. Yes, this is talking about Renaissance Western Christianity, Catholicism, the patriotism of America, but this is also going into the image of the so-called white man. The so-called white man is not white, and that is an idol. I got a fucking TikTok account that I just was commenting on. This Moabite or this Asian dude is doing he's doing nothing but videos on the Oxford study on how all these Asian women that are marrying white men are getting murdered by their fucking husbands. And why? Let me see. I'll pull it up. Why are fucking why are these Asian women marrying so many fucking white men? Why are they not marrying anybody else? It's because of the idol. It's the idol of white supremacy. Let me see. Let me see if I can find. I want to pull up. I have his right here.
This Oxford study family had a not so happy ending after her ex-husband and her divorce.
And that's the one where the girl kills the guy because he left her. He was fetishizing her. But it's this channel, Anon Serrated Knives. His whole page is him doing these Oxford study videos, and it's these Asian women marrying Edomite men, and the Edomite men are fucking killing them. Yet you don't see Edomite women marrying Asian men and the Asian men killing them. It's one-sided, and it's story after fucking story.
Australia's worst pedophile jailed for 35 years after abusing 47 boys in Singapore, Indonesia. Asian mother refused to bring her young daughter to the hospital because she was scared they would find physical abuse marks made by her white boyfriend. This Asian woman, Beverly Mom, was raped and murdered, and her child was molested by her white boyfriend. This beautiful family-orientated Asian woman was killed after a white man with a strong purported Asian porn fetish messaged her multiple times.
Okay, you get the whole fucking...
This British man...
The whole page. But what is this? It's this. The Most High is destroying the image of the so-called fucking white man. Okay? This idol. So back to my story in Arizona. I was at my buddy's house and just chilling. We're chilling out in his room, listening to some Christian hip-hop music. It's a normal Saturday afternoon. It's between 3 and 4 it's between 3 and 4 in the afternoon. Normal day, just chilling. We're not doing drugs. We're just Christians, super hyper Christians, man. He was my Christian buddy from church. We went to the same church together. When I wasn't at work, I was at his home, always talking with him, joking around with him and his 3 sisters, and all our other friends from church. This is how we lived our life back in 1998. I'm sitting in his room. I'm sitting on his bed, operating the CD player. He left for something. And I'm chilling, and I'm facing, I remember, because I know my way, I know my north from my south, from my east, from my west really well in Arizona, because Arizona is a very flat state, and there's mountains. And it's just, and there's no trees like there is in the south. In the south, I don't know where I'm at. I have to get out a compass on my phone to know what direction I'm at. But when I'm in Arizona, I always know my north from my south, my east from my west. I was facing east, sitting in his room, with the south, with southern Arizona to my back. And all of a sudden, when my eyes open, I go into a trance or I have a vision. I have a very vivid, colorful, cartoon, spiritual-like vision where I'm standing in a like a desert terrain, but it's not like absent of water, but it's like sand or dirt. And do you know those really those towers that hold the wires? They look like robots. You guys know what I'm talking about? Those big cables, those big electrical power cables that when you're driving out like in the country or whatever, and you see like those towers that look like, let me see if I can pull them up, man. The fucking power towers or whatever. Let me see. No, fucking that right there. That. But the ones with the even longer looking arms, where they actually look like, let me see, right there, dude. Those. So I'm standing in a field, right? And because they always look like big men with arms. I've always viewed them like that, like robot men with arms. I'm standing in a fucking field, bro, and there's two of these. There's two of these with cables. There's one to my left, and then it got cables that go off out of the vision, and then there's the cables from this one go all the way to my right and connect to another one, and then the cables from that one go off vision. I'm standing there in this vision. I'm on my friend's bed in his room listening to music, awake, not on drugs, man. Hadn't been, you got to hear. No, I'm sober, bro. And I'm now physically in this vision, and I'm standing, and someone or something behind me launches two fireballs, and I hear it, vroom, vroom, and the fireballs hit the cords, the power cables, and the fire begins to devour the power cables going to the left, and then the other fireball hits the power cable and begins devouring it going towards the right. So now I'm standing there and I'm watching these two fireballs literally eat and devour the cables going from the right to the left. And if I remember right, the power cables were still there, but they were changed. The color was changed. Something was changed, and the fire was going to my right, and the fire was going to my left, and it was just consuming the cables. I don't know what that means until maybe now. I'm starting to understand when we speak things, when we say stuff. I said in a lesson, let me pull it up if I can find it. I just posted this lesson, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm telling you, I'm following GMS, right? I'm acknowledging the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Let me see if I can find it, man. I think the idols of white male supremacy. That's one of them.
Are we ready?
A tough one to talk about.
Are we ready? I don't know who this lady is, but.
And this is what's happening. I explained it in this one, okay? And that was a couple of months ago. That was 2 months ago. So look, Isaiah 19, verse 1. That's what I need. What's going on here? Isaiah. Oh, I didn't put the KJV, man. You got to put that. All right, there we go. The burden of Egypt. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at its presence. What is the biggest idol? What is the biggest idol in America? What is the biggest idol on the planet Earth? The fucking image of so-called white man due to stuff like this. This is why. This is one of the reasons why. Renaissance Western Christianity, pictures of Jesus, and then white angels. White angels. That's why. Right there. Angels that are white, Jesus that is white, and then pictures of God that's white. But this is why, bro. And then of course, America, just America. Let me see. Hollywood. Happy Days. Happy Days. Happy Days. Shit like this. What do you see? You see white Edomite families just, oh, they're so sweet and nice. Remember? Everybody's on TV. Oh, these people are so fucking cool. What about Leave It to Beaver? Come on, you guys. You gotta leave it to Beaver. Leave it to Beaver. What were our people going through when these fucking Peckerwoods were on television? We were fucking struggling just to fucking make it. What was the image of the so-called white man being displayed like, though, on television? This nice, loving, caring, successful, awesome image, right? Right? So everybody wanted to become like that. Even though this same race of people, they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. They did World War I, World War II, the Civil War, the Korean War, the Vietnam fucking War, the Desert Storm War, the Afghanistan War. They bombed themselves in 9/11 and blamed the fucking Middle East. They 2 million women and children in the Middle East were murdered by these fucking people. Now they're at war with fucking Russia and Ukraine. 900,000 Edomite Ukrainian men have died in that war. They dropped the bomb. They bombed the fucking Nord Stream pipeline. Oil going from Edomites, Russia, to fucking Edomites in Europe. And now Canada and Germany are pulling away from the so-called white man in America. Edomites are divided in America. That's fucking, that's also Isaiah 19. Bro, their image is being fucking destroyed. I mean, left and right. Yahweh by Simeon Shai using the chariots, using the hosts. They're just reordering the minds of everybody. What the fuck? What's going on here? Hold on, Salakia. Let me pull that back up. Oh. What the fuck, man? Alright, bro. Hold on. Something going on with my telephone. Bam. Alright, so the burden of Egypt. This is Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt. And that's why. Because everything in America is based on so-called whiteness. Do you know how many fucking Edomite, Salakia for my throat, how many Edomite not baby boomers, but millennials are on fucking Instagram freaking out about what they're reading about their own government? Why? Because subconsciously they see that it's all white people. They're fucking losing it, bro. Like, look, let me see if I got any of that stuff saved. Let me see.
I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
Lawyer, not even a lawyer.
There's women.
Have you ever heard of
women freaking out about her because she's a woman defending these Edomite men? She's an Edomite woman. That I've seen those videos.
Darvo?
Yeah.
Let me get the reels so I can go in order.
Before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
And the brother Thamayim from the GMS camp, he sent me a photo. Look, I didn't know she was fucking 60 years old. That hoe. Look, she's 60 fucking years old. Look how good she looks for her fucking age. That bitch is drinking she's drinking adrenochrome. There's no way she should look that. I didn't know she was 60. I didn't know she was fucking 60. That hoe, that hooker, she's fucking 60.
Before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you.
Look, she doesn't look 60, you guys. That bitch is drinking blood.
Because we saw what you did in the Senate.
Lawyer.
We just found out that Dr. Mark Landon, the head of the
Look at this shit, man.
OBGYN department at Ohio State Medical University, has been receiving payments from Jeffrey Epstein for years. And you automatically know what the fuck he was doing for Epstein. He was delivering babies that nobody wanted. He was getting rid of babies, and he's...
This is your idolatrous crew. mentioned in Wisdom of Solomon chapter. Let's just get it real quick. Damn. And so what I'm saying is that vision that I had when I was a Christian, Yahawashi knew he was going to wake me up, just like he knew he was going to wake all of you up that he woke up. I was the fireballs that were shot from behind me that began to devour the power. What are the power cords? What are those cables symbolize? You guys think about it. Help me with this. Electricity, the power grid, the unicorn, the internet, because electricity powers the screens that you're watching. You got to plug your phone into the wall, which is connected to that power. Electricity, energy is spirit and fire. The fire, the technology of Yahweh shot. Boom. What is his fire? It's a consuming fire. He's got issues of fire coming from his throne. That you can read about that in Daniel 9, Daniel 5, where there's issues. There's a river of fire coming out of him, going in to the Alahayim that stand around him. Well, what is that? That's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's light. That's the Holy Spirit. That's the Spirit. That's what powers Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi is the power source, right? So his power, his Spirit is now what? It's being launched into the system, right? Like a virus, but it's not a virus. And it's making micro changes. It's making changes in the earth according to prophecy. That's the best way I can interpret that vision I had when I was wide awake, you guys, like I am right now, and I physically went into, or spiritually went into that place. It looked kind of cartoonish, but it wasn't cartoonish. And I was wide awake, and I saw vroom, vroom, two powerful fire like rockets. Someone was standing behind me that shot those things, and they hit the cables, and one began to burn towards the right, and one began to burn towards the left, and it was just taking over the power. And how much wattage, how much power is running through those types of cables that are being held up by those big fucking robot-looking pillars? Think about that. That's what is happening now, because the Spirit. What is it? Oh, I got the precept. If you speak my words, there it is. It's in Revelation. It's if you speak, there it is. If you speak my words, I will make this people. I will. If you speak my words. No. If you speak this word. If you speak this word, I will make my words, watch, fire, and this people would. There it is. Wherefore thus saith Yahweh, the power of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. And then when you go into Revelations, that's it. The two witnesses. Fire shall proceed out of their mouth. Fire shall proceed. That's what that vision was, you guys. Fire shall proceed out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man shall hurt them, the them is talking about the northern and southern kingdom, Ephraim and Judah, but mainly the elect of Ephraim and the elect of Judah, right? And the man or the they that shall hurt them, who is that? That's the Edomites and their system. If any man shall hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouths and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. What does this mean? This is the dark saying. How do you kill? Killing is not murder. Killing is judgment based on the law. How do we kill Esau? We can't murder him. We can't kill him with a bullet or a sword because he's been given a sword. But we can kill him with fire. How do we kill him with fire? How do we burn the whore? We speak this word. What is this word? This word is the 100% truth doctrine that we are learning by the Spirit because of our proximity to GMS, because of GMS, and because of the elders and apostles of GMS teaching the true names of Yahweh and his only begotten Son, our most beloved elder brother, Yahawashi, and they have been faithful to the ministry. That is this word. Does that all make sense? Yes, it does. It makes sense to me. So going back to Wisdom of Solomon. All right, Wisdom of Solomon. We need to break down who this idolatrous crew is. Look, Wisdom of Solomon. This is the Apocrypha that the Edomites removed. For it was thy will to destroy by thy hands out of Slovakia. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feasts of blood. Verse 6, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew. We are now beginning to see the faces of the idolatrous crew and the parents and the priests that have killed with their own hands souls destitute for help. And here goes
Hate
one
to
of
say
them.
I told you so.
Hold on, let's get it.
We just found out that Dr. Mark
Here goes one of their idolatrous crew members.
Landon, the head of the OBGYN department at Ohio State Medical University, has been receiving payments from Jeffrey Epstein for years. And you automatically know what the fuck he was doing for Epstein. He was delivering babies that nobody wanted. He was getting rid of babies, and he's treating STIs. That's what he's doing. He is the gynecologist that was referenced in the other emails in the Epstein files.
So Epstein would be the priest. This guy would be an idolatrous crew member, and then he's handling the children of the parents who killed destitute for help. You see it. Just in this one video, you see it.
What gynecologist do you take your victims to? It's that motherfucker. It's that motherfucker. Take his fucking license and throw his ass in the deepest, darkest dungeon under the Red Keep. Okay? And just, you guys, I can't get my head around.
See, but these Edomites on the bottom, they're wicked and evil too. Why? Because they have no scriptural. That's it. You're looking at a nurse. This dude probably has a fucking credit score of 900. He's probably never fucking been arrested. You see where I'm going with this? Look, he's wearing smocks. He could be a surgeon. He might be a specialist. My point is this. This is the image of the stand-up American. Okay, on Esau's lawful level, he's an outstanding citizen, this guy right here with the fucking glasses on. He's baffled that he's looking at his own race of people and can't fathom why his own race of people is doing this, yet he himself has no connection to the Most High. He doesn't know the name of Yahawashi. He doesn't know how to read scripture. He probably doesn't even consider the Bible. But he makes $500,000 a year, maybe $80,000, $90,000 a year, and he's never pulled over by the police. You see what I'm getting at? So don't confuse his basic outrage for what he's seeing, that means he's good too. Because none of these fucking low-level, higher than us Edomites in this system have an answer to what they see their people doing, which proves they are not the sons of God. That's what my point is. They can't go into the scriptures and open up the mysteries of the scriptures. Not the Christians. None of them can. They can complain. They can cry. I can't believe. You're going to see some of them, but they can't go into the precepts.
As a healthcare worker,
See?
hearing that there are other healthcare workers in
This is their own righteousness, you guys.
the world that would participate with such abject evil. Okay? And I just want to remind y'all, Epstein had Mark Landon. Donald Trump has Sean Barbarella. And before that, Ronnie Jackson.
Right now, millennial women are being forced to reckon with the fact that our experience of girlhood was directly tied to the most powerful sexual predators in modern history. Millennial women grew up in the shadow of Jeffrey Epstein. We didn't know it at the time, but he and his pedophile friends had a finger on all of our decisions, the clothing we wore, the scents we put on our skin, the stores we shopped at, our body image, our insecurities. It's not just that the people we held up as heroes, princes, presidents, Hollywood stars, were in fact villains. It's that the power they wielded over society impacted all of us. The perverted nature of these men infiltrated every aspect of our lives.
What's that going to? As the judge is, so are his officers. Let's get it. Dude, so, but these people don't know how to go through scripture. As the ruler, so as the judge, so are his officers. So look, Ecclesiasticus 10:2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
The mall culture of the early aughts was owned by men associated with Epstein. Bath & Body Works, Limited 2, Abercrombie & Fitch, Victoria's Secret, Pink, stores that sold primarily to young women and children that shaped culture around tween clothing. There were words on the butts of the shorts at Limited 2, shirtless models and dimmed lights at Abercrombie, body sprays with names like Love Spell and Pure Seduction at Victoria's Secret, lingerie marketed to tweens at Pink. L Brands Inc. chairman and CEO Les Wexner wrote in a 2009 letter to shareholders, "Pink, the color that represents tenderness and femininity, the color that evokes childhood, playfulness and purity, the color assigned to girls before they're even born." Epstein was a driving force behind the obsession with prepubescence and the sexualization of young children.
So you get it. You see their own people, right? They're crying out, but they're unable to go from the scriptures.
All right, I'm going to show you two very, very disturbing photos in the Epstein files. And I debated on whether I should even show these photos. But we're being gaslit that a lot of these victims were like 16 or 17. Megyn Kelly even said, it's not like they were 8. Okay, here's the first photo. This girl's like 10. She's just a kid. My daughter has shoes that are very similar to those shoes.
Everything they accused GMS of for defending the law, this is all coming out now on Esau's system and who he is as a person.
And here's the other photo. And this girl's like 8 years old. And her shirt is pulled down.
That's more than likely a Jake.
And I want to make it very clear.
They could order FWOG. Is anybody else like me wondering why there's no arrest?
Been following this since 2016. You hit the right page. So, you want the long version or the short version? Because the short version goes like this. Our judicial system is rigged.
Now it's rigged. It was rigged from the beginning. 13th Amendment proves that the whole system was set up to oppress Jake. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 explains exactly how Esau Edom specifically writes his laws to oppress the true Hebrew Israelites. He can't come from that knowledge and understanding. All they are doing right now is responding to the evilness of their own race of people because they see a lot of white people as victims. He who is evil to himself, see, they don't know any of this. Ecclesiasticus 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. White on white crime is the biggest kept secret and deception among these fucking people. They swear up and down they don't do themselves wrong, and yet these people are watching the very deepest depravity of their own race, doing heinous shit to their own people.
And not for us. It's for all of them.
But they never gave a fuck when it was happening to us.
Think of it as a mob. And the mob took over the town. And the mob owns the police, the mob owns the courts. That's the short version.
Where was all this when, man, bro?
Oh, hi, Pam Bondi. What are you doing with Keith Frankel?
See, and all these women, all these Edomite women and women of color, whatever you want to call them, Jake women, they're seeing the hypocrisy of this bitch and the other handful of other bitches that are fucking defending these Edomites, man, while they're doing all this shit.
Oh, I have a couple questions for you, Pam. How much were the acting lessons? Do the Epstein victims that you cried with know that you're friends with Keith Frankel? Why was Keith Frankel and Jeffrey Epstein talking about body boxes on February 10th, 2010? You've read the files, so I'm sure you can tell us. If Jeffrey Epstein was such a monster, Pam, how come Keith went to his house so many times? One thing that was mentioned in the Epstein files is children being trafficked out of Ukraine. Keith Frankel and his family...
White Ukrainian children being trafficked out of Ukraine. But at the same time, the white media was trying to convince the world that Russia, other Edomites, are bad because they're going to war against Ukraine because they're trying to take their country back. But at the same time, the same Edomite fucking people who control the fucking media are taking white children to fucking sacrifice, to rape, and to eat. Get the fuck out of here, man.
On a children's home that takes children out of Ukraine. You need to cut the shit, Pam.
So I posted about this person.
Look at that little white girl. Look how she's just smiling, right? Why? Because she was born to an Edomite family that's already been indoctrinating her at this age, and this is part of the indoctrination. Why the fuck is she smiling? Because this is not the first time she's been in this position. These children, see the other little white girl too? She's on a pillow. She's also smiling. Why? You got to understand. They do this on a daily basis with these little fucking kids, and then these kids grow up to be adults doing the same shit to other little kids. Yeah, man, that's...
Yesterday. If you don't know who this person is, I posted on my Insta story. Go watch the whole video so you can understand, okay? But then it got me thinking, I'm like, wait, I don't think people know who I don't even want to say the name, like I really don't, but people know this name, but I don't think people...
Check did not clear the bank. Bet you didn't see this. Check did not...
They found a whole fucking goddamn fucking, that trailer was full of babies. Like 18,000 babies or some shit, all chopped up and shit.
Bet you didn't see this.
And they had fucking labs with babies in fucking Ukraine.
The amount of spiritual heavy probably wouldn't surprise.
So I'm gonna cut the lesson off with that because this is a lot. But you got the scriptures are clear. The image, the idol. Isaiah 19, the idol, the image of the so-called white man is destroyed. It is being destroyed. It's over, man. And these other nations now, they are now releasing, that was the trigger for this lesson, they are now releasing the unredacted versions of some of the files. So it's just going to continue to increase. So I've heard some of the brothers say there's going to be a counter to this, a false flag of some sort, something to take our attention in another direction. And which means it's going to have to be pretty big because this is pretty huge. But I'm going to read this precept in prophecy and I'll be done. Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi rideth upon a swift cloud. That's a chariot. Those are the UFOs. And shall come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And that's what's happening. The Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi is basically just blowing on the image of the so-called white man, and that motherfucker's got to move over. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt with the midst of it. And I will set, and as a result of the image of the so-called white man being shaken and destroyed, and in the hearts of Egypt melting, the minds of people melting, because now they're freaking out about everything they've ever learned, and their whole ecosystem has been fucking chaotically disrupted. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Now, division really manifests to the form of infighting and war, civil war, race war, social war, all this shit because of the previous lines in the prophecy. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And 2 Ezra 15 and 16, Jeremiah 30, you know the rest, man. If you don't know, you better sit around and keep listening and learn so you can know. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, B'Hashem Rakakodash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from. It's your brother Radah Shalom.